Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, a group of Oswego students are finding success selling longboards, what they're doing differently this semester.
And Mackin Hall has been uninhabitable. What's in store for the building's future?
Plus, Rudy's is now open for the season, how they're getting ready for the year.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Nasir Mikkel.
And I'm Madeline Cummings.
Rudy's is officially open for the season. Traditionally, it opens on the spring equinox each year. The opening has pushed back because of massive renovation projects and the increasing tariffs on imports.
Following the February snowstorm, part of their new ventilation system arrived late, and they added a new dining area and redid the flooring, walls, and counters. The renovations were made in an effort to modernize the restaurant.
The cost of running Rudy's has risen since the pandemic. Rudy's imports seafood and potatoes from Canada. The rise in tariffs has hiked up the price of those imports.
Rudy owner Jason Lifeseas says going forward, he wants to start opening earlier in the season, closer to Lent. For now, they are open 7 days a week from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Madeline, the nice weather today is making me ask, is the spring finally here to stay?
You know, Nasir, I sure hope so. Let's take a quick look at the weather with our Storm Team's head meteorologist, Ryan Murphy. Ryan?
And thank you guys. If you went outside today, you may have noticed it was sunny, it was decently warm out. It's been overall just a beautiful day. And I hope you took that opportunity to go to either Rudy's or Bev's, as they did open this week. But if you didn't, that's all right. Tomorrow is an even better opportunity to do so. Temperatures will be in the 60s. It'll finally start to feel like spring. I know I'm gonna make my way over to Bev's, be able to get an Oreo milkshake, depending on how I feel. Now, as for tonight, it is absolutely gorgeous out. It is in the low 40s. There's not a cloud in the sky. The stars are out. It's overall just gorgeous out here. Now, as for the rest of the week, I'll get to that in just a bit with my full forecast. But first, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Now in campus news, Lakeside Manufacturing is a team of students that every semester designs and builds their own product that is available for purchase. This semester, the class is selling longboards.
WTOP-10 reporter Riley Jones spoke to a member of the team to get the latest details on what this semester looks like for the club. Riley?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here in the Tech Ed lab with Lakeside Manufacturing's production manager, Dan Hall. Dan, thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thanks for coming out.
Of course. First question we're going to ask, basically just what makes this class different from years past?
So this is TEL 393 Manufacturing Systems. One of the parts of this class is to get together as a group of 7, design a product, and then market and sell it 99 products, make a manufacturing process, and then get them out into the world. So yeah, this year, our team decided to really challenge ourselves, and we decided to make longboards, available now, Lakeside Manufacturing on Instagram. So yeah, we wanted to do a challenge, so we picked something that would be hard.
That's awesome. How did you land on longboards? I heard you talking a little earlier about, there was a whole process involved.
Right. Each one of us, of the 7, had to come up with 4 separate ideas. We had everything from bar stools to rubber band guns, like kits for making paper, and longboards. And we decided, not only is there a lot of money in longboards, but there's a lot of interest. We know a lot of people ride around on campus, outside of campus, other college campuses. We've got orders from across New York at this point, and I don't know, it's an undertaking indeed.
So it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. But anyway, thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thanks so much,
yeah. That's all for here. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you, Riley.
Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, Mackin Hall has sat on the East Campus empty.
Our WTOP-10 reporter Seth Appleby asked why and learned the future of the hall.
Here on the east side of Oswego is Mackin Complex, a former residence hall and dining center. The last use for these buildings was as a quarantine facility during the COVID-19 pandemic. So what's next for these desolate buildings? Mitch Fields has been with SUNY Oswego since 2012 and has over 30 years of experience with facilities management.
The complex is Lonis, Moreland, Mackin. Lonis and Moreland were the original dorms on campus. Mackin, when it was first built, was called Hewitt Union, and it was the student union. There are beautiful meeting rooms in there. There's a dining hall downstairs.
The buildings were built in the 1940s after World War II in order to serve students who were previously living in nearby Army barracks, known as students as Splinter Village.
What we call the Sheldon Quad, which has Sheldon Hall, Lonis, Moreland, Mackin Complex, Rich Hall, Park Hall, and Wilbur Hall, and then much later Lee Hall was in fact the original 1948 SUNY campus.
Over the years, Mackin Complex's main use was dorms for students, but years have passed since they've seen that kind of life, and the passage of time has started to sink in. Right now I'm behind the Mackin Complex near the old receiving dock, and it isn't hard to see with the broken concrete, the overgrown vegetation, that this place hasn't been used in a while. But that doesn't mean the building is completely abandoned, at least not yet.
SAVAC, the ambulance corps, the student volunteer ambulance corps, is in the lowest level of Moreland. And they have a garage out back, so there's a small headquarters there. The rest of the building is empty. Lonis is completely empty and really sort of shelved. And Mackin Hall is the home of the major projects group on campus, and there's a few custodial people in there as well.
Aaron Johnson, the last custodial staff in Mackin, made it clear that the dismantling process has already begun.
And we've emptied out these rooms because we're consolidating all the furniture down onto one end, just in preps for when it does go down.
The immediate plans is we're going to try to get out of that building, and we're going to try to basically decommission it and mothball it. Further down the road, it's beyond the point of really any effective renewal or renovation, so it will probably be demolished and removed off campus, and I think that area will become more or less a wooded area.
And even though Mackin Complex may be coming to its end, future students can look forward to walking through an arboretum where the current buildings sit. Seth Appleby, WTOP-10.
Fields says that renovations to Mackin Hall would cost between $60 and $70 billion to remove the asbestos-filled flooring, walls, and ceiling.
He says that the renovations would simply be unfeasible. In the city of Oswego resulted one resident being transported to a local hospital. Firefighters were dispatched at 4 a.m. when they arrived to the single-family home. The house was fully engulfed in flames. Firefighters were on the scene for 2 hours and got the fire under control, keeping it from spreading to nearby homes. The cause of the fire still remains under investigation.
Stop DWI campaign coordinators and law enforcement agencies across the state of New York are joining forces to bring public awareness about the dangers of impaired driving. As April 20th, also known as 420, approaches, marijuana users may be expected to increase their intake. Oswego County Stop DWI Coordinator David Hall says that participants will take part in a high-visibility engagement campaign on the state's Stop DWI 420 Day. This campaign will last from April 18th to April 20th.
Over 300 people sat and waited in Lake Ontario Event Center in hopes that Representative Claudia Tenney would show up to the address during their concerns. But she never did. During the past 6 Saturdays, rallies have been held on Bridge Street protesting the Trump administration's new tariffs. Community members are concerned that Tenney isn't representing their concerns because she isn't present to listen. Although Tenney never showed, some local Democratic representatives were in attendance, including legislator Maurice Brown, who spoke to community members and urged them to stand up and fight back. Coming up after the break, Dr. Stephen Abraham discusses tariffs with WTOP-10 reporter Casey DeSalle.
Stay tuned on WTOP-10.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I had to eat a raw egg on Chris's dormitory floor.
I currently don't have any federal pending charges.
You know what you never did? You never walked to Walmart, Chris. That's my co-host. This is for making me eat roast popcorn. It's showtime, Chris. Come on.
I want to be on the air for that. I got a couple things to say.
No. Spin the wheel. Oh, you got censorship.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to...
And welcome back to WTOP-10. I'm meteorologist Ryan Murphy with your local weather forecast. Now we're going to start off taking a look at our live satellite radar over our area, and you can see there's not much clouds and no rain, which is much different than it has been over the past few days. It has rained a lot. I know a few games here on campus did get canceled. Now that's not your worry today, and it will not be your worry definitely tomorrow. In the middle of the week, it might be. I'll get to that in just a second. Taking a look at some of our national temperatures here, you can see it is starting to look like spring temperatures, especially for night. The trough that was over our area is starting to finally disband and move east, which is very nice. And I'll tell you one thing, I wish I was down here in St. Louis where it's 75 degrees, but I will take the 39 that we have here right now. Now looking at our current conditions here in Oswego, it is 49 degrees. It is a little cloudy out there, but honestly not too bad. There is a wind chill, 44 degrees. Again, same thing, not that bad. If you're going outside, you might want to grab a sweatshirt or maybe a jacket. Now, if you are going to bet on the weather, no matter what you guess, there's a good chance it's going to happen because we're going to get it all. Tomorrow is going to be 63 degrees. It's going to actually feel like spring, and we're going to have some sun. So it is going to be pretty nice. Now, Tuesday, however, some clouds are going to roll in, and we are going to get some rain. It will cool down to about 49 degrees, but that is nothing compared to Wednesday because, of course, it is Oswego, and Oswego, you can't have Oswego without some snow. We are going to have some snow early Wednesday. That will transition into some rain and some snow throughout the day. It's kind of a curveball there, not going to lie. Now, looking at our futurecast here, you can see this, some clouds and some rain is going to go through our area tonight through tomorrow. But now here is midday tomorrow where it'll be 63 degrees in our area. That's your peak time. If you want to go outside, I highly suggest you do. You know, the way it's been, you don't get much days like that. Now, if we go ahead throughout the rest of Monday evening, through the night into early Tuesday, you'll see some rain showers are going to come into our area, and it's going to be spotty showers throughout the day. You'll see the rain will kind of move its way on through until Tuesday night where you see some of that snow. Now, more snow will move on in throughout the night and into early Wednesday. It is going to be, could be a problem early Wednesday morning for our commuting, so that is something that you might want to keep in mind. Looking at our day planner for Monday, this is pretty key right here. Now, it is going to start pretty cold early Monday morning, but it's going to quickly go to 53 degrees by noon and down to that 63 by midday. Like I said earlier, I highly suggest you go outside. It's going to be a beautiful spring day. Now, as for tonight, some clouds are going to move on in. It'll go down to a cooler 36 degrees, and there is going to be a slight breeze, so you may want to keep that in mind. Now, as for tomorrow, it's going to be beautiful. I highly suggest you take advantage of this day. Go do whatever you want outside. It's just one of those days. Now, looking at our extended forecast, you can see Tuesday there's a rain that we're worried about. Wednesday, a little snow. But then the next day, the storms will move on out and we'll have some sun. And it'll kind of continue like that for the rest of the week, especially Saturday. There is some rain, but it is going to be warmer. That's all I have for my forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ryan.
Chinese officials are calling on President Donald Trump to cancel his reciprocal tariff as the trade war between the world's two biggest economies escalate.
WTOP-10 reporter Casey DeSalle spoke with Dr. Stephen Abraham, a professor for the School of Business at SUNY Oswego, to discuss how tariffs will affect the wallets of American consumers.
Thank you for joining me today, Dr. Stephen Abraham. Today we're going to be discussing the topic of tariffs. I know that's a topic that's on many Americans' minds right now. The first question, how are these tariffs implemented by the Trump administration going to affect prices and inflation on consumer goods here in the United States?
A tariff, if you want to think of it, is basically, it's a tax. So if they're charging foreign countries or producers in foreign countries more money to import their goods to the U.S., prices are going to go up because those prices, at least the majority of them, are going to be passed off to the consumer.
Yeah. And then is still a lot of debate on whether or not these tariffs are the right thing to do right now in terms of the economy. Can Can you explain why some groups might think it's the right thing to do, while others might think it's not the right thing to do?
The only people who are going to be in favor of tariffs are people who are interested in bringing production back to the U.S. because what a tariff is going to do is going to make it more expensive for producers in foreign countries to produce their product, and well, not to produce, but to sell their product in the U.S. And so, relatively, it's going to make the price of American goods lower compared to the price of the foreign imports, and so that will increase the demand for goods produced in the U.S. And then, if there's an increased demand for the goods that are produced in the U.S., then companies in the U.S. will have to increase production to meet that demand, and that will, increase employment in the U.S.
And then some countries have come to agreement with the U.S. as of late. Others have retaliated. China is one of those countries that has retaliated lately. Do you think the U.S. is making a good decision by continually raising the tariffs against China, or do you think it's a bad decision?
I'm not in favor of them just because I'm not in favor of anything that interferes with the free market. And you raised an excellent point. The U.S. is not acting in isolation. As you said, the U.S. Trump imposes tariffs, other countries retaliate, and it could theoretically be a never-ending spiral. So not only if we impose a tariff on imported goods and then other countries impose tariffs against us, then it's going to be more expensive for us to import. It's going to be our companies in the U.S. that try to export their goods are also going to have to deal with tariffs, so they're going to be hurt in that sense. And I'm sure you've probably noticed that Trump backed off yesterday immediately. He delayed his tariffs for 90 days against all of the EU. The only country that he hasn't delayed tariffs on is China. But the guess is that my prediction is that he might delay tariffs against China as well.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Thank you for joining me today, Dr. C. Abraham.
Thank you very much.
On tariffs. Now I'll throw it back to the desk.
Thank you, Casey. The Trump administration raised tariffs on Chinese imports to 125% on Wednesday, and China matched that number on Friday.
However, Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs on most countries, lowering them to 10% for their cooperation with the U.S.
When WTOP-10 Nightly News continues, in night of bluegrass in Oswego, how one special performance celebrated a banjo icon and brought his legacy to the stage.
And from high school hallways to the Hall of Fame, how a band with local roots earned a spot in upstate New York music history.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
If you like action, romance,
if you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
surface is this.
Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
there's only one place to turn.
No!
Tune in to new episodes of
Oh boy!
only on WTOP.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News.
In entertainment news, Geneva's own gym class heroes were just inducted into the Rochester Hall of Fame. The band, co-founded by Travis McCoy and Matt McNeely in 1997 during their high school days, blended up hip-hop, pop, and punk to create hits like Cupid's Chokehold and Stereo Hearts. Their unique sound and chart-topping collaborations helped put upstate New York on the musical map. Tonight's ceremony at Kodak Hall celebrated not just their success, but also their roots and the journey from high school band to national stardom.
Bluegrass took the spotlight in Oswego last night as Tony Triska's Earl Jam paid tribute to banjo legend Earl Scruggs. The concert was a part of the Oswego Music Hall's Guest Curator Series and featured a powerhouse lineup including Michael Daves, Casey Drisson, and Jared Engel. Together, they honored Scruggs' influence on American music and showcased the banjo's power to bridge tradition and innovation. From Syracuse native Tony Triska, it was a personal tribute to a musical hero.
Friday marked a milestone on campus with SUNY Oswego hosting its first ever TEDx event. TEDx SUNY Oswego brought together 6 inspiring speakers, each sharing powerful ideas and personal stories. By hosting the event, SUNY Oswego joins a global TEDx network with over 40 million followers and 8 billion views worldwide. Executive producer Kenny Gerard says the event offered a unique opportunity for the campus and community to learn and grow together.
I think you can learn a lot of valuable lessons. We have 6 incredible speakers here, all of them with their own different stories and different backgrounds. They all have some valuable information to share, also things we could take away from it. And again, if you aren't here in person, you can watch that live stream. And I mean, it's a cool event. It's a first-time thing at SUNY Oswego, and I think it's a lot of fun.
If you didn't get the chance to see the event live, the full program is available on SUNY Oswego's YouTube channel. Moving on to SUNY Oswego's biggest spring tradition, it's right around the corner. This year's Ozfest promises music, food, rides, and a few surprises.
WTOP-10 Jaden Archie has the latest on what students can expect.
Oswego's biggest spring event is back, and this year Ozfest is bringing even more to campus. From carnival rides to live performances, here's what students can expect. Mark your calendars. Friday, May 9th, Ozfest returns to SUNY Oswego. The action starts at noon with daytime activities outside the arena, including carnival rides, food trucks, games, and more. Then at 7 p.m., the party moves to the Deborah F. Stanley Arena for the concert featuring Mariah the Scientist, student openers from the Digital Music Association, and a mystery headliner still to be announced.
People are just getting anxious a little bit when it comes to the headliner, but we're just waiting to make it grand, make it big.
For the first time in Ozfest history, students will be performing alongside national artists, a new move that's generating buzz.
I'm just happy to be part of it, and being able to participate in Ozfest as well. That never happened before, and it took a lot of strings to be pulled. And it's all about who you know is not what you know, and that's the cool thing about it.
Tickets are now on sale for $20 for students and $25 for the general public, available at tickets.oswego.edu or the campus box office. With good food, live music, and a full day of fun, Ozfest 2025 is shaping up to be an event that you won't want to miss. I'm Jaden Archie.
With a day full of festivities, live performances, and a headliner still under wraps, Ozfest 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated events of the year.
With the mystery headliner, students can secure their spot now and get ready for a day that celebrates campus life. You know, it was a big weekend for Oswego sports with the Saturday doubleheader.
With more on that is WTOP-10 sports anchor Mike Neckers. Mike?
Thanks, guys. Coming up, we've got all things Oswego, from high school lacrosse to a special event at Laker Turf Stadium. Stick around. You're watching WTOP-10.
From faraway lands, or snacks with bizarre flavors. How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West First Street.
Yeah, we're walking
walk around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They're looking for me.
There's hockey.
There's improv.
So much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free. Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
I'm Mike Neckers, and here's your local sports report. We'll kick things off with the Oswego Buccaneers High School boys lacrosse team. The Bucs are a very young team, graduating just 9 seniors and returning a majority of their team next season. Unfortunately, they are still searching for their first victory of the season and are currently sitting at 0-4 on the year, most recently with a tough loss to Whitesboro. Despite this rough start, head coach Patrick Bond, who took over the varsity position just this year, is confident in his team's ability to grow and build a successful program. You can catch them at home on Tuesday, April 22nd, where they are set to take on the Fulton Red Dragons at Oswego High School's turf field. And folks, they say that April showers bring May flowers, but you know what else they can bring? Cancellations. Oswego State baseball has now had 4 game postponements this season due to inclement weather, including most recently a game that was scheduled for this Thursday against St. John Fisher. They're not the only ones to face this issue either, as Oswego State softball has seen 4 games postponed in the past 2 weeks alone, barring them from competing in any SUNYAC conference play. And last but certainly not least, both the Oswego men's and women's lacrosse teams continued their successful runs yesterday afternoon, while also celebrating some of their hardest workers. The Oswego State men's and women's lacrosse teams are both having historically strong seasons, as both teams are yet to lose to a SUNYAC conference opponent. But the real story worth telling is the celebration of Senior Day that went on in between the men's and women's lacrosse games yesterday. For the women's team, 5 seniors were honored: Mackenzie Wynn, Sophie Russian, Julia Gurecki, Ashley Casserly, and Kate Salamita. Mackenzie Wynn, who leads the team in assists, had a career day, scoring 2 goals and 6 assists, and says she's hungry for more and ready to close out her final season.
You know, going into our last couple of games, we really have to finish strong. We have to keep up that intensity that we kept against Cortland. I mean, we saw the score today. We have to keep that rolling into next week against Potsdam, and then we have a big one on Friday against New Paltz.
The attitude was very similar for the men's team, who defeated Morrisville 18-6, celebrating 9 seniors' careers. Gavin Elston, who recorded 1 assist in the win, is extremely grateful for the opportunity to be able to play lacrosse in Oswego.
This is huge for all the seniors. I think we're having a really good year this year. Everybody's trying to play as a team. We're trying to figure some stuff out, but this win was huge for everybody.
The women's team will be back in action on Tuesday, where they are set to host the Potsdam Bears, while the men's team will have the week off and be back in action on Saturday, April 19th, up at Plattsburgh State. For WTOP-10, I'm Mike Neckers.
Thank you, Mike. That's our report for tonight.
Be sure to stay tuned for WTOP's regularly scheduled programming.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night, everyone.